So did you ever just go insane and just think, I'm just gonna delete everything? Well, that kinda happened. And this happened. Hey guys, welcome back. I'm Epokk, and like I said, I kinda went insane. I was really not happy with my last video because it all looked really bad because I was just trying to get to the milestones, but then I just kinda got annoyed just enough to delete everything and start anew. I kind of came up with a few systems and some inspiration I found on Reddit online. And yeah, I just kind of want to run you guys through the new setup. So let's get started. Now, how the hell do I get down here? Okay, so I'm gonna start with where everything starts actually. So at the miners. Now, I wanted to get a lot more resources going, so I really wanted to get a lot more copper, iron, limestone, and coal getting in, and then just starting, refining into the base materials, like for example, copper wire, cable, concrete, iron rods, iron plates, screws, steel production going on, and stuff like that. And that's pretty much what I built completely over there. Now, before I start showing that, I just kind of want to show the miners. Now, I upgraded a few of the miners, and well, there are a few more on the other side. So what I did is in a big U shape around the platform, I created these 4 tracks. Now, there are only 2 right here, but if we continue further up ahead, 2 more will appear. So the entire idea is that these conveyor belts actually they will supply certain materials. So like for example, this one is bringing up coal from the 4 miners, 2 over there and 2 all the way over there in the jungle. Now these bring these up and put them on this conveyor belt. So what this actually just does is, so this one supplies the conveyor belt, and then wherever I need some coal, I can just have a splitter, just take coal away from. So for example, if you follow the coal, then there you see the first splitter that moves all the way to my new coal factory, coal generator assembly, because I kind of also changed that because I got really annoyed with my last setup. So, but I still kind of actually need to get more power. So for that reason, in my next video, spoiler alert, that will be mainly just getting the oil power going, because I just got the oil extractor, and now I just still need to do the milestone to get the oil generator. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So to continue with the system, so the entire idea is, okay, the game is starting to lag a little bit because when I stand here. So because these conveyor belts, they supply, these just have a constant stream of materials. Now, for example, the top one is over there iron. No, this one is iron, sorry. So that's gonna get supplied by a miner over here and a miner over there. And here we are at 8 smelters. Now these 8 smelters, they each get supplied by that conveyor belt. So we have a few splitters just supplying these smelters directly. And you also have another system that I was trying out to see which works best. So we have a splitter, and then that one splits it into another splitter, and then into 2 more splitters, 2 for each smelter. So these 8 smelters are just smelting iron bars, and those are going up with conveyor belts to the next floor. Now let me just show you a few of the floors really quickly. So for example, there we have iron plates. Yeah, iron plates. So we have, there are 4 smelters, and those 4 smelters are supplying each 30 iron bars to these guys. These need exactly 30 iron ingots every minute, and this will pump out 20 iron plates each, and these go down back into this storage container, and that on that belt. That belt has every kind of resource. So as you can see now on the bottom, we have the iron rods, the screws, the iron plates. Then we have the steel beams from the steel factory down there, and the steel pipes, the concrete, the cables, I think, and those are the copper wires. Now the entire idea is that these are the base materials. So these are just, you know, like I said, those kinds. And if there are ever any others inserted, then we can place another belt on top. Now, so the miners deliver the materials on those conveyor belts. Those conveyor belts deliver it to the factories like here. So for example, here you have the iron plates, you also have the iron rods over there, and the iron screws over there. And here you have the concrete, the copper, wire, copper sheets and copper cables. And then over there you have the steel factories, steel, you know, just steel beams and steel pipes and stuff like that. And these are just the pure easiest materials. This will be the base for, well, all the assemblers. And these are just going to constantly supply these conveyor belts, just as you see. So these are just going from the factories into the storage containers. Storage containers are just going to be delivered with conveyor belts and conveyor lifts into this conveyor belt. And this conveyor belt is just a massive circle. Well, an oval shaped circle. Let's go up one floor or two. So as you can see, there it goes in just a giant oval. And then the idea is to have on that side only assemblers. So I have a few assemblers set up right now there, and they actually take materials from that belt with splitters, conveyor belts immediately into the assembler. So for that reason, now the entire idea is, so in case like I'm setting up an assembler and that assembler will need screws and iron plates, for example, then I can just immediately place iron plates. I can just take a splitter, take from that conveyor belt line, here's the splitter. I can take the materials and link it with a conveyor belt into the assembler immediately, and the same thing with the screws. And that's the entire idea behind it. Now, I'm not really sure how efficient this is going to be in the long run. Now, I do hope to get, you know, I don't think the conveyor belts are going to be a big problem, because as you look at the logistics, now these are only the three first conveyor belts. So we first have 60 per minute, 20 and 270. So these upgrade quite a bit, and I think they're go all the way up to MK5, MK6. I'm not sure, to be honest. And so I don't think those conveyor belts will ever run behind on the required materials, or not immediately. Depends on kind of how ambitious you get with these setups. But we do need to make sure that we have these factories also run quite well. And for that, I kind of want to have them a little bit modular. So I can always just place floors on top of it. So for example, now I need only 3 constructors for the concrete. So once again, if I need more limestone in the future, then I can just add them to those conveyor belts. And then those conveyor belts, I can just link them up with constructors, and I can just build floors on top of these floors. So just have massive buildings up in the sky, just constantly creating the base materials. Yeah, I'm sorry if this actually just becomes a little bit confusing. So once again, so miners, I see I have a lot of miners set up now. Not all of them are linked just yet, but these are going to supply the materials with the conveyor belt that goes on the outside. These get branched off with splitters into the conveyor belts, into the constructors, and those finished materials all get assembled together, placed together into a storage container, and those materials all get supplied on this conveyor belts, which should always be stocked. And the assemblers that I will set up on that side should get, you know, I always have easy access to those materials for the assemblers on that side. That's basically it. Now, I have been fine-tuning it a little bit, so I am trying to make sure that especially from the smelters to the constructors, that they are always getting just the right amount of materials. So for example, okay, that's always weird to do. So let's just say, for example, we have 4 smelters. Now the 4 smelters supply 30 ingots every minute. Now I have 4 of those creating iron ingots on this track. Now this gets split up into these two, and these immediately deliver to the iron rods. I'm just going to use the iron rods as an example. Oh. And these, so normally there should be 60 iron ingots on each. Now these for iron rods you need 15, so that's exactly 4 constructors. 60 divided by 4 constructors is 15 iron ingots for each. And that's basically the setup. And then if we combine that a little bit further, so these 4 constructors create 15, so that's 60 in total. That all gets thrown up on the third floor. The third floor are for the screws. So for the screws they need about iron rods. They need 10 iron rods to create 40 screws. So that means our 60 gets divided here among all 6 constructors. So I just want to have them always getting just exactly what they need and divided it fair and squares, just so it all gets produced well enough. The same is happening with the concrete production down there, so exactly the right amount drops into the constructors. I think that's, I want to say a number, but I think I'm going to say the wrong number, so I'm not going to say anything. Now, let me just jump back down, and then I won't go as deep into the other ones, but whoa. So as you can see, I also placed a storage container on each one of these. Now this one isn't connected to the main conveyor belts because I don't think it will be very much needed. Because I don't really think they're a massive component for the assemblers. So that reason they're not going on the main lines over here. But the storage containers are mainly just for buffers. So in case they aren't, I don't need a lot of them. And then I don't want the machines to stop as much as they have to. So it's just to create a buffer. So here we have the copper. Now the copper, honestly, I'm the least happy about. I still really need to up that production because the cable production is not up to my, well, not my standard, not what I want it to be. And here we have the same system for the steel factory. So here we have the foundries. Now the foundries, if you haven't unlocked these ones yet, these are just 45 iron ore per minute and coal per minute. And for that reason, these lines are really perfect. So we have coal coming in from here, and they're going immediately into the foundries. And we have an iron ore. I have a miner over there, which on a pure node, and he's just delivering iron ore only for these foundries, and that adds just up perfectly for these 6 foundries. And those get thrown into these constructors. So 3 constructors for each side, and those are the steel beams. Steel beams, and the other one is the steel pipes, or tubes, or whatever they're called, steel pipes. And this is all getting supplied by our coal generators. Now, I really had to fix it because I really wasn't happy with how it looked, and I just upped the production, the power production quite a bit. So we have now 6 coal generators, which is still not a lot, but it's okay for now. And here we have the 6 water extractors just delivering the water they need. I also cleaned up the pipes because honestly it just looked really bad before, and now it's way cleaner. But honestly, I'm quite happy with this system, but I'm still not sure if it's gonna be very efficient in the future, how sustainable it is. But I just had this idea and I really just had to do it. So here you can just see the assemblers in, for example, this one is making the encased industrial beam. So this one needs the steel beams and the concrete, so it's just easily connecting one splitter with a conveyor lift for the conveyor belt with all the concrete on it, and the same thing for the steel beams over there. Now it's just very easy this way. It's very clean, and I really want to expand this system, or just see how this system holds up into the future when we're creating a lot of stuff more with the assemblers and the manufacturers, which need about 4 ingredients each instead of these 2. But yeah, it's still something I'm messing around with, but first I need to get my power production once again up. I feel like I'm always complaining about the power production in my videos, to be honest. But yeah, things are really expensive. Now, it doesn't really say that I need a lot more, but I have had already some blackouts with just like adding 4 assemblers or something. So, oh, and by the way, I moved the Space Needle over there, and I already unlocked the next tier, so I'm really happy with that. But yeah, that's something I'm gonna be working on in the future, and yeah, I'm gonna go get ourselves some oil, and that will be quite a a setup that we need to install, because I will be needing a lot of oil generators, and I will also need to link it up with this factory, and since it's like 1 kilometer away, that's quite a distance. But anyway, guys, that was it for this episode. I hope you found it a little bit informative. I don't know, something cool. It's just a new system I really wanted to show. I'm really happy with it for now, and just really uncertain how sustainable it will be. But I like it so far, I really do. Okay, so that was a system that I really wanted to show, so let me know in the comments what you think about it. I'm really interested in your opinions. And guys, I want to thank you for watching, and until next time, see ya.